mean, look, I'm going to say I'm with the people in the sense that if you have watched a loved one die because insurance has denied them life-saving essential health care, it is natural to wish that the people who run those systems would suffer the same fate as your loved one.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a disturbing trend of some people on social media and in regular everyday life walking around celebrating the death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Now, you guys know the story. He was shot and killed Wednesday morning in New York City, 6:45 a.m. He's walking down the street. Guy comes up behind him, shoots him with a gun that has a suppressor on it, and the guy gets away. They don't know where he is. May he rest in peace. Prayers out to his family. He was 50 years old. He had a wife and 2 kids. Now, people are celebrating his death because he was the executive of an insurance company, and maybe that insurance company denied somebody some coverage. Maybe they have some practices people don't agree with. So they say, oh, okay, well, since the CEO was there, that's a good thing. How about some other people? They were talking about, well, why not get this person and that person and that person? I'm like, is that what we're doing right now? Really? Is that what we're doing? This is completely ridiculous, completely disgusting, and the wrong thing to do. It's wrong. Now, before I go any further, let's just show you some things, right? Taylor Lorenz, you may or may not know who that is. She's like the tip of the spear here. This little piece right here, this little image, it says CEO down. And then below that, it says, yes, we, in quotations, want insurance executives dead. And below that, it says, no, that doesn't mean people should murder them. But if you've watched a loved one suffer and die from insurance denial, it's normal to wish, so that's the first thing we got to get through. Okay, written. And then here is Taylor Lorenz talking about it. And what you're going to see right here is kind of a mashup. On the left, you have her crying about being harassed online, people that don't like her, saying mean things, negative things, etc. And then you're going to have her talking about the insurance executive being killed as some kind of positive thing, a net positive for society. Let's watch this. Then we're going to see some more reactions from other people. Without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
You feel like any little piece of information that gets out on you will be used by the worst people on the internet to destroy your life. It's horrifying. I'm so sorry.
Am I, when I say, do I wish someone dead, is that advocating for them to be killed? No, of course not. But am I going to shed tears? Of course, people are going to get a little carried away and celebrate, but they're celebrating because it feels like a victory.
Yeah, and as I was saying on my live stream last night, Taylor Lorenz, this person is a journalist, has been involved in some controversy online, showing up people's houses unannounced. I think she went to Lib's TikTok house unannounced to try and do a hit piece on her. She scares me. I don't want to see no crying white liberal at my front door talking about, oh, I'm going to do a story on you. I don't want no parts of it, okay? I am good. So she kind of scares me. And this rationalization scares me even more. Now, let's continue here. There was a lookalike contest out there, I believe in New York City, with people dressed up like the shooter, okay? And you see this guy right here has denied, defend, depose on his apron, bib, whatever you want to call that. And deny, defend, depose is what allegedly was written on the shell casings found at the scene of the crime. So these people are sympathetic toward the shooter. They believe in the shooter's mission. They are already trying to copy this guy's style. I mean, these people are really ghoulish, okay? And maybe they think that the person is attacking the rich, eating the rich. But see, he was an employee of a company the same way that you could be an employee of a company. So what happens when a company has certain practices that somebody doesn't agree with and they want to come get you? If the executive does not do what the board of directors, what the shareholders want him to do, then he gets fired and he might even be able to get sued. So people, their frustration is centered in the wrong place. You should be worried about the federal government because Obamacare, what that is a way to regulate the insurance companies to give you coverage when you probably shouldn't get it, which makes them lose money. So they got to figure out other ways to make money. That's the reality. If maybe the government wasn't involved, and if maybe people were a little bit healthier, and we would do things like ban certain food dyes and certain kinds of foodstuffs in general in this country, maybe there wouldn't be so much of a need for so-called healthcare, insurance, all that good stuff. If we could take care of ourselves better, we'd be in a better place. All right. And if you want to see the look-alike contest, again, I'll link to it in the box. Now, let's get to some more things that some social media users were talking about.
This individual has taken on. And it has been remarkable, unsettling to watch the public response to what has happened here, and just the kind of caustic reaction to a father, to a human being.
A part of the social media response. I mean, I think, outside of social media, maybe everyone sort of just sees this as a cold-blooded murder.
Well, you could say, it was mostly online. It's an online reaction. I just showed you a lookalike contest right there in the street. So it's on and offline.
If your tweet starts with assassination is bad, but you might want to rethink that tweet, right? I mean, in other words, and if your important social policy mission to change healthcare can only get traction because of an assassination, you might want to rethink your political strategy. I am as liberal as the next person, and I find this horrifying because if we are a society who thinks that we can get progressive change only through highlighting, no one quite says it, but, essentially highlighting that there might be a reason for the assassination that isn't somehow justified. We are no longer a civilized society. I really believe that. I feel quite strongly on it. And people,
I agree.
And the NYPD is getting in this too, so that it sort of fits this whole thing, like the big man. We're going after the man, like the NYPD and health.
CNN has kind of improved a little bit lately. They've gone a different direction. They're trying to make it different. They're trying to not be so ridiculous as they were under the first few years of Trump. If they could turn the corner, that'd be great. They're not quite there, but they're on the way.
Care and I don't know the motivation of the person.
We actually have some examples of what we're talking about here. Things like, unfortunately, my condolences are out of network. Prior authorization is required for thoughts and prayers. I can't even pretend to care. I hope he's looking up at us. When you make millions off the suffering of others, don't expect sympathy. This needs to be the new norm. Eat the rich. I've seen dying patients get denied by insurance. Makes me physically sick. I just can't feel sympathy for him because of all those patients and their families. I think the thing I struggle with here is people are viscerally angry about insurance. And you can pull up the statistics. Percentage of people in the Gallup poll, quality of health care coverage is excellent or good, 28%. Had any problem with their insurance in the last year? 58% said they did. Insurance didn't cover or required a very high copay for a prescribed drug that people had to take. Significant portion of people. The denial claims with the company that this CEO ran, high.
Well, a lot of this is about grievance, right?
Right.
We have a healthcare system that many people say is broken, an insurance system that many people feel that they're being ripped off. So I think a lot of what we're seeing here is a pure psychological projection against this CEO who is now deceased. And in many ways, we're talking about not just grievance, but people feeling disaffected, disillusioned, angry, not just with the insurance companies, but this is about a class war, a culture war, people feeling now they are justified in expressing a lot of their anger and rage because that's what we're seeing out of this presidential election, out of the results, what's happening in society. So people are losing a lot of that empathy and feel it's okay to put these things on social media and to express these things. We shouldn't lose sight of the fact that people really do feel ripped off by many of these large corporations. But at the same time, to point at that one person, and, this is a guy, who has a wife, had a wife, 2 children, and so on. So in losing that empathy, I feel that this is not healthy for us at all to move in this direction. And we really have to dial it back as to what the psychological ethos of all of this is about.
Right on, 100%. Now, there's more to the clip, but I'll link to it in the box. But at the end of the day, as I close, what a lot of them were talking about as far as people being upset, they have grievances, that's correct. But you want to just put it on this one person and be like, oh, okay, since he's dead, then that's a good thing. That's a thing that you want to celebrate. It doesn't make any sense. And like I said, if you had a problem with insurance and the way things are going in this country's healthcare system, look at the federal government, look at the companies themselves, look at our own healthcare practices before we get to a doctor, before we go before an insurance board and we're trying to get coverage for a particular thing. Okay. Yeah, people that's 1,000 pounds talking about, I can't get proper healthcare coverage. People that want to smoke crack and smoke cigarettes and shoot fat, I'm talking about, oh, I can't get healthcare coverage. I'm not saying everybody that it gets denied healthcare coverage did it to themselves, but I think if we had a better focus on health before we got to a doctor, before we got to a hospital, before we got to the insurance, we'd be a lot better off. And this issue wouldn't be as visceral and hateful as it is. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Have you seen any of the comments? Have you heard anybody talking about the CEO dying being a good thing, a positive for society, eat the rich, all this and that? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. It is the absolute wrong thing to celebrate this man's death. Okay, you may not like something the company did, but what is his death going to do to help you? It's not going to change. They're going to replace him, and the next CEO will do the exact same thing the previous one did. And if they don't do the same thing the last person did, they're going to be the next person to get fired. It's simple. And it's not just this healthcare company. It's that one, that one, that one, that one. That's just what it is. And again, you got the federal government on their back with these ridiculous regulations where they got to bring on patients that they probably shouldn't bring on, and they're not really going to be able to make money. We got to see things what they are and not be so idealistic. Again, I'm gonna stress this point. We need to focus on our own health before we have to go before an insurance company and try to get a claim filled, before we go to the doctor, hospital. We got to take care of ourselves more first, so this problem won't be as big as it is. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.